Welcome to Sleepy Historian Secrets. Tonight, journey with Ariya through magical realms on the Moonlit Pilgrimage, a mystical sleep story, crafted to soothe your mind and guide you gently into deep rest. Get comfortable, breathe deeply. Ariya arrived at the gates of the City of Dawn's Gate as the first light of morning shimmered soft gold in the sky. The city's towering walls glowed warmly, carved with ancient runes that hummed with quiet power. She felt the weight of all she had gathered, sleep relics, songs, rituals, folded gently into her heart. The streets were lined with lanterns like scattered stars, and soothing voices echoed softly as the city's inhabitants prepared for the final sleep circle ritual. Ariya's steps were lighter now, her fears transformed into quiet strength. She found herself drawn toward a circular plaza where a grand fire pit waited, smoke rising like lingering dreams. Around it, strangers held hands, eyes closed, breathing in unison. Ariya joined, feeling the pulse of shared hope and calm weave through the circle. The keeper of the bridge appeared beside her, nodding with a gentle smile. As the ritual song wordless and sweet rose from the gathered souls, Ariya felt a wave of warmth carry her deeper into rest. The city, the river, and every realm she had walked whispered the same promise. Sleep is not an end, but a return, a coming home. With dawn blooming over the horizon, Ariya's journey reached not a conclusion, but the sacred beginning of eternal peace. Ariya stepped lightly onto the Moon Mirror Bridge, a delicate arch spanning a quiet silvered lake. The surface of the water gleamed like glass, reflecting the crescent moon and endless constellations above, weaving star paths beneath her feet. The air was thin and still, carrying the soft fragrance of night jasmine and cool stone. The bridge was a threshold between worlds, between light and shadow. Here, Ariya felt the weight of her journey deepen. The journey was no longer just outward but inward, toward quiet confrontation with shadows stretched long behind her steps. Midway along the curve, a figure emerged, a shadowed shape with eyes that shone like gentle flames. It was the keeper of the bridge, neither friend nor foe, but a guide to those who dared face uncertainty. "You have come far, Ariya," the keeper murmured, voice like the brush of wind on still water. "The bridge demands more than steps. It asks surrender. What fears do you carry?" Ariya's breath caught. She thought of nights trembling in the dark, memories she hid beneath smiles, the aching loneliness she masked with hopeful songs. "I carry the fear of forgetting the fear, that in finding peace, I might lose the beauty of the journey itself," she said, voice steady despite her heart. The keeper nodded. "That fear is a shadow, yes, but it can also be a lantern. Hold it not as a chain, but a light. Let it guide you safely across." Ariya closed her eyes, feeling the bridge's cool stones beneath her feet, the night's gentle breath soothing the taut string of her nerves. She embraced her fears, letting their edges soften. A whisper curled around her ears, the wordless song of the stars, the hum of the earth's slow turning, the quiet promise of rest. The keeper handed Ariya a small stone, smooth and warm, etched with a crescent moon. "This is the lantern of lost and found. In moments of doubt, hold it close. Remember, even shadows are made of light." Ariya pressed the stone to her chest, a pulse of warmth grounding her. On the far side of the bridge, a circle of travelers awaited, holding hands in silent welcome. Ariya joined them, feeling the strength of shared courage and the soft embrace of belonging. As the first light of dawn brushed the horizon, Ariya's steps grew lighter. The Moon Mirror Bridge had not erased her fears, but transformed them, making her journey's end less a conclusion and more a homecoming. She carried forward the lantern stone's glow, ready to walk through the City of Dawn's Gate and into the final mysteries of sleep as ancient kingdom. As Ariya drifted down the river of silver echoes, her heart synchronized with the gentle current flowing beneath her small boat. Fireflies danced alongside, casting shimmering sparks of light that mingled with the stars above. The water's surface mirrored the celestial canopy, each ripple carrying whispered lullabies older than time. The night was filled with soft sounds, the rustling of willow leaves, the distant calls of night birds, and the quiet breathing of sleep seekers floating side by side. Ariya nestled among cushions, feeling the steady rocking soothe her mind. The river held a sacred promise. Sleep is never rushing, never demanding, but a soft current carrying all who trust it toward peace. Around her, others surrendered to the flow. Voices faded into murmurs and comforting silences. In the middle of the river, they stopped by a weeping willow whose branches brushed the water tenderly. A circle of travelers gathered for a ritual of release and renewal. Water was poured over their hands like a blessing. Whispered prayers rippled through the night air, carrying intentions of kindness and rest. Ariya received a vial filled with the river's sacred water, a gift said to calm both body and spirit when sprinkled before gentle sleep. She tucked it carefully with her relics, feeling the weight of comfort and ancient wisdom growing in her satchel. As the boat drifted onward, Ariya let go of every tension, every lingering worry, her soul moving in harmony with the river's eternal flow. This night, beside the river of silver echoes, sleep was not a goal to grasp, but a current to join, endlessly welcoming and endlessly kind. In her dreams, Ariya wandered the endless silver path, comforted by the shared journey of every sleeper who walked before and every heart yet to rest. With dawn's first light, the river faded behind her, but its lullaby remained in her chest, a steady song of peace, patience, and the promise of home. The soft murmur of the river of silver echoes grew steadily as Ariya walked beyond the Watcher as library and down a shaded trail. The air cooled, carrying the scent of wet moss and freshwater lilies. The river glittered in starlight like a ribbon of liquid moonlight, its surface smooth and endlessly flowing. Ariya felt peace settle into her limbs, the rush of the river's gentle current matching the steady rhythm of her breath. This was a place of movement and patience, where sleep floated like water never rushing, always present. Along the banks, small lanterns hung from willow branches, swaying softly with the night breeze. Fisherfolk with weather-worn hands worked quietly, casting nets with slow, sure gestures. Women sat on stones, weaving reeds into baskets and humming the timeless songs of the river's blessings. "Welcome, seeker of rest," a voice called. A group gathered near the shore, their faces serene as the river itself. They invited Ariya to join their circle. Here, the art of drift sleeping was taught, how to allow thoughts to flow without grasping, how to become weightless and carried on the current of dreams. An elder lifted a carved wooden oar, tracing slow circles through the water as a lullaby rose wordless fluid, wrapping like mist. Ariya closed her eyes, feeling the music cradle her spirit. The river's song was the song of all sleepers, the whispered promises of restoration, the tender urging to surrender fear and find shore in the soft arms of night. One by one, the river singers shared stories of nights when sleep was found only by letting go, by floating gently beyond worry. Ariya learned to step into that current, releasing every tightness, allowing the river of echoes to flow through her soul. The group led her to a small boat lined with cushions and blankets. As she settled in, hands strong yet gentle pushed the oar forward, and they drifted silently down the silver waterway, lanterns trailing firefly light behind them. Above, the stars stretched like a shimmering dome, and the river reflected every constellation. Ariya felt the pulse of the world slow, her heart sinking with the river's steady flow. In that moment, she understood. Sleep was not a place, but a current carrying all who trusted its passage toward renewal. They stopped beside a weeping willow, where a ritual was held to honor the river's gifts water, poured gently over hands, prayers murmured in whisper tones, promises made to honor rest and kindness. Ariya received a small vial of river water, said to bring deep calm when sprinkled before slumber. She tucked it safely among her treasures, the last glow of the boat's lantern fading with dawn. As the journey continued, Ariya felt lighter, softer, carried not just by the river, but by the shared humanity of those who understand the sacred art of sleep. This night, beside the river of silver echoes, Ariya rested in the flow, her spirit winding gently with every ripple, her dreams as endless as the moon's reflected path on the water. Ariya left the oasis at dawn, the dream scarf and pebble safely tucked into her satchel. The path led uphill, through koppies scented with wild rosemary and lavender. Under the early morning sun, a forgotten city unfolded, its sun-bleached stone walls glowing faintly, ancient symbols carved deeply, pages, feathers, closed-eye signs promising calm and wisdom. At the heavy stone gates of the Watcher's Library, Ariya paused. The doors creaked open, revealing a vaulted hall stretching endlessly, filled with towering shelves of scrolls, bound books, and fragile manuscripts. The scent of aged parchment and beeswax candles warmed the air. From the shadows appeared the night owl, tall and graceful, with eyes that glittered like stars. She was the guardian of this library, a keeper of silent knowledge and protector of restless souls. "Welcome, traveler," she said softly. "Here, knowledge rests not only in written words, but in the quiet between. What do you seek on your path of sleep and dreams?" Ariya answered, "I seek the deepest songs and rituals that bring rest to every heart." The night owl nodded, leading Ariya to a carved oak table where an ancient scroll lay unfurled. The delicate script shimmered faintly, alive with magic. "This," the night owl whispered, "is the poem of calm mind, not to be sung, but to be felt inwardly. Repeat it with me." Her voice softened. "Mind of cloud, drift and rest. Peace descend within my chest. Calm the sea, still the tide. Safe and warm where dreams abide." Ariya echoed the words, feeling each syllable dissolve tension and usher quiet peace. The night owl handed Ariya a tiny vial filled with pale blue ink made from moonflower petals. "Write these lines in your notebook. At night, trace them gently in the air above your pillow. Let your mind drift toward restful waters. Nearby lay a bundle of soft feathers." The night owl gave Ariya one, light as a sigh, a feather from the sleep owl herself. When troubled, hold it. No rest is near, even in darkness. Ariya treasured the feather, wrapping it carefully. The guardian led Ariya to a stone alcove where a single book rested on a pedestal, its pages glowing faintly but blank. "This is your story yet to be written," she said. "Each step you take will add to the library guiding dreamers who come after." Ariya gently touched the book. Though empty now, a faint glow ignited beneath her fingertips, as if waiting for her secrets. Around the library, wanderers read texts softly or meditated beneath stained glass windows painted with moonlit rivers and feathered dreams. Ariya found a quiet corner and wrote the poem of calm mind in her notebook, adding lines of her own. "Night's quiet mantle wraps me near, softly, gently, dreaming clear." Her journey felt deeper, her soul woven into sleep's ancient fabric. As candlelight flickered, the night owl whispered, "Ahead lies the river of silver echoes. Sleep there drifts like water patient, flowing, ever present." Prepared with new gifts, Ariya stepped from the library into the cool dusk, the sky darkened with stars. The river's murmur called her forward toward rest yet undiscovered. Her heart was steady each night, each dawn, less about searching and more about coming home. As dawn painted the edges of the mountaintops with soft pinks and blues, Ariya awoke refreshed, the weight of memory now a gentle anchor, not a burden. She lingered in the mossy circle, savoring stillness and the first bird song, before gathering her satchel and setting toward the open horizon. The road eased downward, winding through low hills scattered with wild thyme, into a region where the air grew drier yet sweeter. Golden grasses waved, guiding Ariya's path by the sun's rays. Far ahead, shimmering on heat and light, rested a cluster of tents and palms, a small oasis. Drawn by curiosity and the promise of rest, Ariya approached. The oasis bustled with gentle activity, nomads tending sheep, an old woman weaving blankets, children chasing dust devils and laughter. At its heart, a large communal tent, striped blue and white, invited all wanderers with the rich scent of baking bread and brewing herbs. Ariya entered, met with a chorus of smiles. "Welcome, sleep seeker," greeted a bearded man whose eyes twinkled above a copper teapot. "Here, rest and comfort are always for sharing. Join us in the ritual of gentle hands." Inside, the tent's walls fluttered lightly, patterned with faded shapes of moons, stars, and open palms. Pillows lined the ground in sprawling, inviting arrangements. Ariya settled among a family whose children played quietly, tracing patterns on the rugs. The oldest woman motioned for Ariya to present her satchel. "These relics memories, blessings, and sleep gifts are precious," she said. "In our tradition, new comfort is made by blending old wisdoms. Will you share a piece with us?" Ariya chose the scroll of blessings from the valley and the memory leaf from the forest. The woman braided the leaf into a cord and wound it round Ariya's wrist, whispering an incantation of thanks. Then she sang a lyric, teaching Ariya an ancient lullaby of the sand lands. "Sand drifts, worries lift, by moon and palm. Hearts mend and shift gentle hands. Through dreams they roam, carrying peace, returning you home." When the song ended, the tent's elders passed round a bowl of herb-infused milk, cinnamon, clove, and thyme. Ariya sipped, warmth pooling in her belly, her body growing heavier with contentment. A soft hand guided Ariya's own to a bowl of smooth pebbles. "Touch each," the woman said, "and think of what comfort means. Each pebble, warmed overnight, keeps away cold and loneliness." Ariya pressed her palm to each, feeling years of kindness radiate through. Children giggled as a storyteller began a tale of caravans that crossed oceans of sand, guided only by the stars and the wisdom of rest found in every oasis. The story's rhythm, slow and melodic, lulled the group further. Some drifted off, cradled by the pillow piles, while others watched the sun shadows move through the tent walls. Ariya's head nodded. When she awoke again, the old woman placed a scarf of sky-blue silk in her lap. "This is the dream scarf. On sleepless nights, wrap it twice and let your worries drift away upon its threads." As afternoon faded into an amber dusk, Ariya helped knead dough for flatbreads, learning the rhythm of gentle touch and patience. For every loaf baked, a wish for deep sleep was pressed into the dough. The oasis dwellers believed no meal was complete without a blessing for peaceful dreams. Ariya joined a group gathering at the edge of a shallow pool, its surface mirror-bright in the twilight. Here, palms swayed, their fronds whispering restful secrets. Nomads recited verses to the moon, asking for safety on all journeys, for landscapes of softness in the land of sleep. Ariya placed her pebble, scroll, and dream scarf beside her, breathing deeply the night breeze fragrant with sage and bread. She felt the gentle hands she had not shared, seen, remembered resting upon her shoulders. As the moon rose, the oasis grew quieter. Families curled in rope beds beneath tents, faces serene in shared peace. Ariya, blanketed by new comfort and the wisdom of many lands, slept with a heart filled by sand song, moon prayer, and the certainty that every gentle touch truly carried peace. In dreams, she wandered endless desert paths, comforted by thousands of open hands, each offering rest, each welcoming her into a world where sleep was always safe and memory always kind. When morning returned, Ariya awoke to laughter and gentle music. She thanked her generous hosts, tucked the dream scarf and pebble into her satchel, and prepared for the next leg of pilgrimage. Her journey would next lead her to a forgotten library, where secrets, poems, and the wisdom of the sleep owl awaited. But as she left the oasis behind, Ariya promised herself comfort was always close, wherever her feet or her dreams might travel. At dawn, a silver mist hovered above the rose hollow where Ariya slept. Birdsong muffled in the haze, and the lantern at her side flickered gently, as if bidding her onward. The soft earth, still cool beneath her blanket, carried the echoes of ancient lullabies from the valley. Ariya collected her relics, a flower petal, the scroll of blessings, night's purple lantern, and the rune stone readying her heart for the journey ahead. The road wound east, narrowing into a path beneath birch and elder trees, leaves whispering with secrets. Ariya sensed the forest waited for her, its roots wrapped around hundreds of memories, its canopy sheltering all who sought healing in quiet shade. With every step, the dense green deepened. Light filtered through leaves in shimmering waves. Voices drifted, some high and distant, some low and near-sounding, almost like her own childhood laughter, echoing across years. Ariya paused, hand pressed to a trunk, realizing the forest was a living archive. Here memories grew, blossomed, and transformed. She ventured deeper, recalling grandmother's stories. In the forest of memories, you may meet your younger self, your lost hopes, and even wounds you thought healed. Let patience and kindness guide you. The trees may gift wisdom, but only to those who forgive themselves. Ariya slowed, breathing deeply, letting the forest's air replace any anxiousness. The path split around a fallen log where moss grew thick. She sat, tracing patterns in the green. A fox emerged, a real one, its fur bronze and tail tipped white. It watched Ariya, then beckoned with a silent nod. She followed as the fox led her off the path, weaving through ferns and chorus of hidden insects. In the canopy, golden birds chattered, their songs both familiar and strange. Ariya understood. These were echoes of sleep rituals, lullabies sung by ancestors, voices dissolving into wind. The clearing stretched before her, lined with stones carved in ancient languages. At its center, a pond mirrored the sky, cloud ripples blurring into blue. The fox circled before settling beside a willow, eyes steady on Ariya. A gentle call drifted across the water. Ariya approached and found an elder tree spirit, her outline faint gold, her hands offering Ariya a woven satchel. Many come here seeking comfort, the spirit said. But first, memories must be honored, not denied. Look in the pond, what do you see? Ariya kneeled, gazed into the pond. At first, only her own reflection. Then, shapes formed herself as a child, alone and brave. Her first lost friend, waving gently. Moments of fear soothed by music. An old sorrow, now smaller in the water's dance. Her chest tightened. The spirit spoke. Place each memory into the satchel. In the forest of memories, pain and joy must travel together. Only then can true rest be won. Ariya accepted the satchel, filling it one by one with each memory, naming them softly as she worked. My first lonely night. That time I found courage. A lullaby from grandmother. The friend I miss. The heartache that taught me gentleness. When the satchel was full, the fox nudged her hand. Tears came easily, but Ariya didn't hide them. She felt lighter, as if the forest itself absorbed her sorrow and handed back peace. The tree spirit smiled, brushing her cheek. You have courage, Ariya. Take this gift, a sprig of memory leaf. Brew it beneath moonlight, and all who drink will sleep soundly, their own memories forgiven. Ariya pressed the leaf into her pouch, gratitude blooming. The fox vanished into the trees, replaced by an owl, a symbol of wisdom. The owl perched nearby, voice calm and resonant. For every shadow in memory, there is a light beyond. Let tonight's sleep settle between the two. Leaving the clearing, Ariya rejoined the path, feeling changed. The forest of memories had shown her not only the pain of the past, but the possibility for deeper peace. She passed families cradle napping beneath birches, their dreams protected by woven memory ribbons. She crossed a bridge carved from heartwood, gardens of herbs lining each side. At a wayside, a young mother hummed a lullaby while braiding her daughter's hair. Ariya paused, receiving the song as a blessing, its words wrapping her own heart. The road ascended, passing fields of childhood games frozen in dew. Ariya found herself running for a moment, letting joy shake loose, laughing beneath the trees, unworried if anyone saw. At last, the forest thinned, giving way to the shadow of mountaintops beyond. Ariya settled in a circle of yarrow and sage, laying her head on a pillow of moss. She recited the sleep blessing from her scroll, whispered goodnight to every memory, and closed her eyes in perfect safety. This night, beneath ancient trees, cradled in both sorrow and laughter, Ariya slept more deeply than ever before. In the morning, the forest's hush would send her onward, toward oases of gentle hands and the next relics of rest. Ariya slept beneath the willow's cascading crown, the velvet pouch of the soundless lullaby nestled near her heart. The night enfolded her in its slow rhythmed streams, weaving through memories and hopes. And when sunrise glimmered faintly through the leaves, she awoke feeling both lighter and older. The ancient road glowed with a new hue. Lanterns twinkled in a winding path, some resting atop low stone walls, others suspended from branches, all pulsing in gentle anticipation. It was clear to Ariya this valley was not just a physical place, but a crossroads between comfort and courage, between the pain of the past and the promise of restful journeys ahead. Rising, Ariya wrapped grandmother's shawl tighter and stepped out to greet the new day. The wind was hushed, the world expectant. Only a few night walkers remained in Elder, petting a teapot over smoldering embers. A boy playing a quiet flute, a woman carrying a basket of poppy seeds. All nodded in respect as Ariya passed. Above, the sky was stippled with fading stars, pale blue reaching across the horizon. Ariya watched as the lanterns unspooled, each inviting her forward, deeper into the valley's heart. At the first turn of the road, she met a pair of sisters. Their hair was tangled with moonflowers, their faces marked with the peaceful glow of deep sleep. "Are you traveling the lantern path?" one asked. "Each time we walk it, our pace slows and our worries soften." The other sister pressed a handful of petals into Ariya's palm. "Scatter them when you feel fear, and the night will remind you, no darkness lasts forever." Ariya thanked them, continuing on. At each bend, she saw signs of small rituals left by travelers. A bowl of honey set under a stone, a thread woven round a willow trunk, a poem scratched into soft bark. If you would sleep, let the wind teach you to dance. If you would dream, follow the flames as they wander. The lantern path led Ariya through fields blanketed in dew. She stopped beside a flat stone where a child had left a feather and a silver bell. Gazing down, Ariya found the bell rang not with sound, but the gentle echo of laughter, kind, soft, forgiving. She tucked the bell into her satchel, and as she rose, nightingales flitted overhead, their songs tumbling between high branches, urging all who listened to pause, to smile, to close their eyes for a moment. Ariya followed the flickering lanterns to a copse of cedars. There, she met En, a night walker of great age and serene spirit, who welcomed travelers with cups of steaming barley tea and stories from a time long before memory. "Rest here," En invited, patting the moss beside him. The world seemed to hush in response. En told of a moon that once disappeared from the valley, leaving its people sleepless for weeks. "We learned," he said, "that when one source of comfort vanishes, another will rise. The first sleep remedy is hope." He poured Ariya more tea and asked what she sought. "I look for sleep's deepest wisdom rituals and songs that help every heart rest," Ariya answered, grounding her words in the valley's hush. En nodded, passing her a small scroll. "Take this. Each line is a sleep blessing, gathered from 100 journeys. Repeat them when the world feels too large or too empty." Ariya read the scroll. "May the night enfold your mind in quiet. May your dreams hear only kindness. May your body remember safety. May your tomorrow rise lighter. Ariya folded the scroll, feeling its weight in her hands. A new relic for healing, another key for rest. En led her to a ring of lanterns, each bearing a different color, a different light. Choose one, he said, and let its color guide the next step. Ariya was drawn to a purple lantern, its glow reminiscent of twilight and mind's deep rest. As she picked it up, the lantern grew warm, and a voice, gentle as autumn wind, whispered within her mind. Slow down. Breathe with the valley. Trust that sleep travels with you, no matter what you face. With En's blessing, Ariya set out again, purple lantern in hand. The path wound up a gentle slope lined with sage and chamomile. She scattered the moonflower petals as instructed. The world seemed to sigh, haze of fear dissolving like mist. Midway up the hill, Ariya discovered a clearing set for another ritual. A wheel of stones marked with runes, a low seat cushioned by woven reeds, and a circle of poppies. In the center, a wise woman in feathered robes traced symbols in the earth with a hazel switch. She beckoned Ariya near. If your dreams trouble you, press your palm here, she said, gesturing to a rune glowing softly. Ariya obeyed. The stone pulsed warmth up her arm, calming every worry and loose thought. Take this stone, the wise woman told her. Put it under your pillow. It will ease nightmares and summon gentle sleep when lost. Ariya slipped the runestone in with her relics, heart filling with quiet gratitude. As evening crept back upon the valley, Ariya followed the last line of lanterns to a bridge over a tranquil stream. The surface caught fireflies, casting rings of light that danced atop the water. She leaned on the railing, breathing in the swirl of nighttime fragrances, petals, river, moss, distant baking. Her mind wandered freely, untethered and soft. At the midpoint, she encountered a group of nightwalkers meeting for their own sleep ritual, exchanging warm bread and braiding sweet grass, singing lullabies led by an elder with the gentlest voice she'd ever known. Ariya joined in. Her voice at first trembled, but soon it melded, and as the group sang, sleep comes like a river, always flowing. Always near dreams come with the shadows, gentle, silent, year by year. Rest in what the night can show, safety, warmth, wherever you go. She felt the power of belonging, of safe passage, of the night as a guardian. As darkness returned in fullness, the lantern path curled to its end, leading Ariya to a nest-like hollow fenced by wild roses. Here, she spread grandmother's shawl, set the purple lantern nearby, and arranged her newly gathered relics at her side. Her breathing slowed, her limbs softened. She closed her eyes, feeling all the valley's blessings, the songs, the rituals, the stories collected by moonlight pulse into her chest and deep within her dreams. Again, the night enfolded Ariya, and in those precious hours, she slept undisturbed, wiser, and with every comfort the valley could offer. Tomorrow, the road would wind into the forest of memories, and new discoveries would beckon. But for this night, Ariya's soul was at peace, resting in the companionship, wisdom, and magic of the lantern path. The wind sighed across Ariya's rooftop, carrying hints of lavender, distant rain, and something new restlessness. The little stone house held all the gentle comforts: worn rugs, walls lined with borrowed books, windows rattling as the night deepened outside. But tonight, Ariya could not sleep. Grandmother, wise and always listening, was awake by the hearth. She beckoned, patting the space beside her. You sense it, don't you, child? The road wanting to be traveled. Not every journey demands busy sunlight. Some begin by candle in the quietest hours. Ariya nodded, heart fluttering like a moth in lamplight. Why can't I rest, Grandmother? Why does it feel like the stars are calling me? Grandmother smiled, brushing silver hair from Ariya's brow. Because you are meant to find something gifts woven through the world, hidden after twilight. You are to become a keeper of sleep, gathering every lost remedy and ritual and bringing them home. Ariya took a deep breath. Outside, the winds grew gentler. The air felt charged with potential, as though every shadow on the wall held a story waiting to unfold. Grandmother handed her a star map, its lines faintly glowing. Take this. When you feel lost, follow its light. Collect sleep relic songs, poems, small objects that give comfort. Each will guide you deeper into the journey and return you home changed. Ariya packed her satchel quietly. Grandmother's knitted shawl, honeyed teas in a squirrel-shaped flask, a small clay lantern, notebook with a stub of wax pencil, the glowing star map by the door. She hesitated. Her heart beat with mingled fear and delight. Grandmother wrapped her in a final deep hug. Remember, the night holds more protection than you know. Let the wind carry your worries. Let the world's sleep surround you. And know you can always come home. Stepping outside, Ariya felt the night's vastness lifting her shoulders, erasing the small fears that usually lingered at bedtime. She gazed upward. The moon floated fat and low, wrapped in mist. At her feet, fireflies blinked in soft processions, showing a path beyond the garden gate. Ariya walked onward, savoring the chill on her skin, the distant chorus of crickets, the slow hush settling on all the homes she passed. Hollow echo of her own footstep, heartbeats slowing with each measured stride. Past the boundary oak with its low, welcoming branches, the countryside unfolded. Fields of wild poppy nodded in sleep. Distant ponds reflected constellations. Occasionally, she paused, gazing so the stars could anchor her, not just points of light, but gentle reminders that every dreamer was watched, cared for. She found a ribbon of lanterns looping through the valley, the first sign of a journey others had walked. Her map flickered, the star lines pointing toward the glow. She felt her jaw unclench. She was not alone. Ariya's thoughts drifted to stories told by fireside, of travelers who lost their way in dark woods, but were found by companions who sang ancient sleep songs and led them to safety. Of strange, comforting objects carried across generations. Of the deepest kind of tiredness, the soul's hunger for peace, for a home that might appear anywhere soft and warm. Ariya arrived at the edge of the lantern path. Nightwalkers stood in small groups. A mother with a swaddled child, an old man with a flute, a girl cradling a strange bird, others cloaked and slow-footed, faces gentle with anticipation. They parted to make room for her. The oldest walker beckoned. "Welcome, seeker of sleep. Take a lantern. For all who travel this way, carry both light and the courage to rest." Ariya accepted, feeling its weight and warmth in her palm. She followed the winding procession, blanketed by songs too old to remember, yet somehow she mouthed along. Her mind began to grow heavier, the steady rhythm of steps, kind voices, and promise of new discovery lulling her. At each bend in the path, a new lantern appeared, sometimes at her feet, sometimes just above in the trees, always showing that the journey was meant to be taken slow and with care. They walked for hours, or perhaps only minutes' time, lost its edges where sleep and waiting blended so beautifully. As the valley darkened further, they stopped beside a willow that touched the road like a mother's hand. The old walker spoke. "The first lullaby is kept here. Close your eyes, listen to the wind. Let it instruct you, as it has every traveler before." Ariya did so. She felt the coarse brush of leaves, a song older than speech swirling around her ears. She let herself sink, breath by gentlest breath. Images swam through her mind, a wolf dozing by a fire, a child humming beside a cradle, a river glowing with moonlight, a warm bowl of food pressed into tired hands, a hand tracing circles on a friend's back as tears faded to sleep. The lullaby was not a melody, but a feeling that promised that no pain could endure forever, that even sorrow would surrender in the face of pure, patient rest. When she opened her eyes, Ariya found a velvet pouch dangling from the tree, tied with blue twine. This is your first relic, the soundless lullaby. Keep it near, and it will bring sleep to any heart, any time. The night walkers parted, some vanishing down side roads, others bedding down beneath the willow's reach. Ariya, lantern in hand, sat by the willow, tucking the pouch into her satchel, the warmth of community pressing close around her, even as she drifted into her first sleep along the ancient road. Above, the moon watched, and in Ariya's chest, new quietness blossomed, deeper than any before. Thank you for joining the Moonlit Pilgrimage. If this journey brought you peace, please like, subscribe, and share to help others find restful sleep. Don't forget to check out our playlist for more soothing stories. Until next time, sleep well and sweet dreams.